So what's going on, guys? My name is MrDalekJD and welcome back to the channel, where today we are going to be talking about zombies and talking about something very interesting which Sledgehammer Games teased a couple of days ago, and it seems like we're going to get a full front explanation on this within the next week or so, and this might be a bigger thing in the maps as we get through the DLC season, and this is regarding WW2 Zombies and the mystery of the zombie voices. Now, we hope that this is going to be a much bigger Easter egg in the grand scheme of things within WW2 Zombies, and this is simply us being prepared for what's to come later in the season. But to break things down and get you guys up to speed with what I'm talking about here, this is new news to do with the hidden Easter egg within WW2 Zombies of the zombie voices having apparent interesting Easter egg quotes and stuff like that. And we got given a teaser back in December from Cameron Dayton about how the Untoten, the undead, have many different things that they say. Wouldn't it be interesting if we could figure out what they were saying? And this caused the community to go on a bit of a wild goose chase, trying to listen to the voice quotes of the zombies and try and work out what language they were speaking, and then trying to decipher what they were saying. Now, certain members of the community dedicated a lot of time into this and managed to, you know, decipher and translate quite a bit of the languages that were being spoken. Rather than everyone agreeing on a universal translation of specific words, it was only specific words that were translated in one language or another language, which some people agreed with and not everyone agreed with. So it was very messy, and Sledgehammer are trying to correct that, and they now do a weekly post on their blog where they update the community on various parts of the game, including multiplayer and zombies. And zombies got a really interesting update, so let's take a look. And this is all about Drosten Hind's background. Drosten is a former humanities professor from the University of Edinburgh who flirted with the occasional black market art theft. He was caught by the Metropolitan Police and given a choice: go to jail or help the MFAA program reclaim stolen Nazi art. He made the choice to help, but hasn't lost any of his rougher edges. He has a wife and newborn daughter at home and is willing to do what it takes to get back to them. So pretty cool that we're getting some backstory of Drosten Hind, which we may or may not have known before. We've known a little bit of his backstory, but we didn't know to this much detail, so it's always nice, but a bit weird that it's been thrown into a blog update, and we'll talk a bit more about that later. But the most interesting thing, and what you're here for in this video, is this next subject, which is called A Dead Tongue. Professor Hind has been gathering notes he collected from Straub's files in Mittelberg and Heligoland, musings on the speech of the undead. He's ready to share his working theory on this corrupted language, so get your pencils and papers ready. Now, this has me intrigued, excited, and also a little bit miffed all at once, and I'll explain why. So the basis is Sledgehammer realized that none of us can translate any of this weird language that the zombies are speaking, so they're actually going to introduce a working theory which will allow us to translate what the zombies are saying into actual English. We don't know if this is going to be a chart, if it's going to be like audio files which just have simple translation into English. We really don't know. It's nice to see Sledgehammer putting in effort and detail to expand on the lore of the storyline, especially at this point where everything is kind of quiet with WW2 Zombies right now, and some of you may disagree with that, but I think on the general whole, not many people are excited about the Darker Shore anymore. But this might breathe brand new life back into it, and also with the Final Reich to go back and listen and translate all these zombie languages. But I'd hope that there was actually a proper reward for doing this, and there'd actually be a much bigger picture or a much bigger hint towards what might be coming in the future by us working this out. We don't know if it's going to be exactly like the Apothecan language, where Treyarch went insanely in-depth in creating this brand new alien language. They actually made two languages, in fact, which were littered all around the lore of Black Ops 3 Zombies, but in the grand scheme of things, when you think about it, the language was actually pretty pointless, as it was not used for any huge sort of really sneaky Easter egg which involved us having to translate certain things in order to work stuff out. I really hope this doesn't go down the same scenario here as well. IW also introduced their own language, which we saw through Raven the Redwoods all the way through to the end, and this was a big thing in Shaolin Shuffle, as it's a necessary thing in order to work out the word that you need to spell out during one of the steps on the rooftop skyscrapers. So, I mean, that was where a language was used, and it was pretty cool and pretty nifty. The language was also used in Attack of the Radioactive Thing for part of the Ghost and Skulls Easter egg. But when it comes to WW2 Zombies, I'm just a little bit worried that it's going to be something which has no point to it. Like, as much as I appreciated Treyarch going really in-depth with the effort of making the Apothecan languages, in the overall grand scheme of the game, it didn't offer anything of real value. It didn't add anything. There wasn't anything hidden which we could only find out through learning the language and translating, and that's something that I hope doesn't happen when it comes to World War II Zombies, but I feel it might do already, because I don't think there's anything that we could learn from the zombies' speech within the Final Reich or the Darkest Shore that would lead to any other new Easter eggs. Any zombie voice lines which we have translations for which are, at least to my knowledge, correct and have been, you know, confirmed and agreed on by quite a few people, is from a mega thread on the COD Zombie subreddit, so we can go one by one and look at these and, of course, just translate what's going on here. So this one is apparently Spanish, which says the aspect of. Now we have this one, which is a zombie talking in English and apparently says the word chimney. Here again we have an English-speaking zombie which says weapon station. English again, which says landmine. And then finally, the only other language people have managed to confirm, which is Bulgarian, which says it's okay or you do not know. There's just a few examples to show you of the speech that's been translated and how it's stuff which isn't really that interesting or anything that you necessarily need to know in order to learn any new Easter eggs. But I do feel it's incredibly interesting of Sledgehammer to go down this route of introducing a language through a community blog post rather than it be something which is added into the game and it's like revealed and sort of discovered through in-game rather than it be on a blog post, which a lot of people aren't going to see. It's also a little strange to me that they're now doing character bios and giving us more in-depth knowledge on the characters again through a blog post instead of it being from us learning about it in the game. I can understand from their perspective, some weeks there isn't really a lot of news to talk about when it comes to multiplayer or zombies, so of course anything that they can do, even if it's something very minute and small, a little bit like this, is something that they'll probably do quite a bit. But just this massive bombshell being dropped about a new language coming into World War II Zombies, just to slap it on the end of a blog post is quite startling. But I want you guys to let me know in the comment section down below, how bothered are you by Sledgehammer adding in a brand new language? Are you going to be diving straight in with whatever this working theory is that Professor Hind is going to be sharing with us at some point soon, where you're going to get your pencils and papers ready in order to work stuff out? Or are you at that stage in the cycle of Call of Duty games where you're not too bothered really and you're not ultimately that fussed? Either way, I'd be really intrigued in hearing your opinions on this down below in the comment section. Honestly, I'll read all of them, I'll reply to some of them, and I'm very intrigued on your opinions. But if you did enjoy this little update video, because zombies information is very scarce right now, but this is still something which I thought I should bring to your attention and of course update you guys on, because you know I do cover zombies mostly all the time on here, then drop a thumbs up and also subscribe if you are new around here. Now for the next week, I'm going to actually be away. I'm going to Texas for Noah's wedding, so I'll be chilling with Noah for the next week or so. Uploads will still be here on the channel. If you guys have any recommendations on video ideas that you'd like me to do with Noah whilst I'm with him, maybe some IRL challenges, and there's going to be tons of other zombie YouTubers, all the usual suspects that you know and love will all be there, and we should hopefully be able to make some awesome content. So if you guys have any ideas, drop them down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all linked in the description so you can keep up to date with what we get up to. In the meanwhile, have a great rest of your day or evening, and I'll catch you guys on another video very, very soon.